the September meeting of the Somerville Tree Protection Board. First item of business is approval, questions, anything, approval of last month's meeting notes. Any questions, concerns, corrections? Move to approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Our first order of business today on applications is 211 Comiskey Park Circle. Is there anybody here representing that? Would you like to address us? And we've been to your house, but give us your concerns about the tree.
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Just want to know what your concerns are about removing the tree.
Concerns for the tree are just proximity to the house, especially during storms, with severe winds for thunderstorms or hurricanes. Just concerned that if the worst would happen, it would come down on the my house or my neighbors. I was honestly kind of surprised it was as close as it was given the new construction in the house. And that's really all I have for it.
Okay. Any thoughts, everybody?
But the tree is a dual leader, water oak. I did notice like a big root going towards the house, but it looks like it's on a slab. It's a raised slab, so I envision that it's
Right.
kind of sand clay mixture under. You would think the roots wouldn't go up, but you never know in a case like that either. We've seen otherwise. And it's probably susceptible, being a water oak, to wind throw with the form of the tree. So
yeah, and it's got, I'm sorry, the tree's got a lot of adventitious growth, sucker growth that may be a result of some bad pruning, or I'm not sure. It's but it's got some sucker growth, and that the codominant lead is down very low, and there was the beginning of included bark on diametrically opposed in the crotch, and it's probably just, it's not a good tree for that site. So I can understand it's the request for removal.
When was the pruning done to the tree? Notice there's quite a bit of pruning that was done in the past.
It was actually done earlier this year.
Okay. So that epidemic growth that's there now, was that before or after the pruning?
That would have been after.
Okay,
Well,
that makes sense.
Classic response
Yeah.
when a tree's healthy, it's saying, okay, if you take that away, we want to make this. I concur that it has some issues. It's probably a bad location. But it does leave a real naked spot along the back street there. I would be inclined to want to request that perhaps you mitigate for that tree if we allow its removal, and that is to plant another tree on the property. Now, we went around front, and front's pretty busy. There's not a lot of space there. Would you entertain planting an alternative tree of lesser canopy size in the vicinity of where this tree is?
I would, yes. As far as my yard's concerned, I'm not too familiar with trees. I don't know if the existing root structure would of the tree there would allow one in the immediate vicinity. I'd be happy to do so. I don't know how the undergrowth would work in that
Understand.
situation. If there was another suitable location I could sponsor, I'd also be willing to do that as well.
Okay. Well, our arborist will certainly help you with any of those details.
Okay.
Any other comments or thoughts? I'll make a motion that we approve removal of the tree contingent upon discussion and hopefully the execution of a mitigated tree on the property.
I'll second that.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 All opposed? You may take the tree down, and our arborist will be in touch with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Okay. the remainder of our meeting will be to discuss and ask questions perhaps of the tedious job that Jesse performed. This is tough stuff. It doesn't look like much, but the picking and choosing and what to remove and what to include to imply a certain feeling is probably took some time. Am I right?
It took a little while, yeah.
Yeah.
Tried to take into account everything we discussed in our previous workshops while also taking into account the urban forest master plan code analysis and all the things they identified that were either missing or needed to be clarified in ordinance as well. So, so yeah, it took a little while. Thankfully it wasn't, a lot of huge changes. Just lots of little things here and there, that kind of thought would address y'all's concerns and also the items that Davey found in the urban forest master plan was kind of lacking in our existing ordinance. We certainly don't have to go through everything, but if there were anything you noticed that you thought needed further edits or anything you thought was missing, I'd appreciate any of those. One additional comment we did have that isn't in this is we are going to add a blurb about requiring commercial mixed use projects that require tree protection board come to y'all before they go to DRB for preliminary review. So that's going to be added. We just have to figure out exactly where the right section is to add that in.
Okay, good.
But that was another thing that was identified both by y'all and in the urban forest master plan. So that will definitely be added to this. We just haven't quite figured out the best place to add it yet.
Okay, well, I'd like to start on this side
Okay.
and everybody can go through everybody with any questions or discussion they might have about it.
Yeah, I've got a few thoughts, Jesse, in section 831. And again, in section 1391, number 2, it's just, there are two references, in 831, it says, in the opinion of a certified arborist.
Mhm.
The way I read it, in my mind, it gives a certified arborist a little too much leeway to make a decision.
Okay.
That, there are, as we all know, there are certified arborists and then there are certified arborists. And it seems to me that in both those instances, it would be good for the town to have the ability to override or at least request further study.
Okay.
To just to protect, in case a certified arborist says to do something that we all know is not correct.
Another one?
I do, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And then in section 832, under A, the tree bank, and number 3, my question is, must the money be spent to manage trees on public property? For instance, if you were to be able to use the money that was collected to buy a piece of software or a resistograph or some sort of analytic tool, could it not be used in the inspection of trees on private property?
Which section were you on?
That is 832 A under tree
Oh, okay,
bank, number
gotcha.
3.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think the, materials software potentially, I think we wanted to avoid just having a bunch of planting on private property, but we can use it.
Well, I just want to make sure that you all, the town is protected, that,
Yeah.
that someone's not going to get in trouble if they take an analytic tool that was purchased to be used on public property and use it to assist a tree board making a decision. That was just my thought.
Gotcha.
Pretty minor. And then continuing, Mr. Chairman, with, see if I can read my writing. In 8, I believe it's 8. It looks like a 7, but it may be a 2, but one under general standards. Where it says that, it mentions it earlier in the text, it mentions that trees will be replaced with, trees that are minimum of 2.5 inches. And here it says 3 inches, and I just didn't know if you needed to clarify that for council. Jesse, just something I picked up on.
Okay.
Or if it
that-
made any
That
difference.
was 8.7, you said?
I believe it's 7, yes.
It seems like somewhere in there it was, they had 3 inch and then it was scratched out.
Yes,
2.5.
It was elsewhere.
But I guess this wasn't done as such.
Okay.
Uh,
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
I guess we can certainly, yes, make sure it's consistent throughout. Are y'all okay with the 2?
The 2.5 is fine with me. I just saw the inconsistency and just thought I'd
Okay.
mention it.
Is 2.5 okay with everyone else?
Yeah.
Preferred by me.
I wouldn't have a problem with going to 2 inches on some certain situations, but
And Justin
Well,
kind of
He has a
We
little
has
right
that
there.
flexibility, yeah.
takes that into account. Okay.
And
I
then-
will double check to make sure that's consistent throughout, but yeah.
Okay. And then under, it looks like it might be K, under severe trimming.
Mhm.
I just asked a question, or citing the ANSI 300 standards, is that enough of of directions for pruning? Or would, ISA BMPs be better or preferable, or maybe not? I just mention it.
I think when I go into the public tree management, I do both, so I can just, I think I say shall conform to, ANSI 300 standards and follow all tree care best management practices. So I mean, I can do both.
And maybe it's not necessary. It's just, these are things that just occurred to me. And then continuing with my diatribe.
You only have a limited amount of time.
This ain't the US Senate. Under, let's see, I have B, it says, develop an annual work plan. Just choice of a word. It says, under the maintenance of a certified arborist. That just, if that's the appropriate word for an ordinance, wonderful. It just sounded odd to me. And that is under B, develop annual work plan. The works, any plant, it goes on, as I recall, any planting or pruning or removals shall be done under the maintenance.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to, because we certainly, not all our workers will be certified arborists, but like Justin can oversee them, that type of thing. So I was trying to put that, well, because I didn't want us to be out of conformance with our ordinance, because I know not all our workers who are doing the work will be certified arborists, but we could have someone who is a certified arborist to oversee the work. So
Sure, my only question was the word maintenance.
yeah, I'll see if there's a better word.
I mean, and maybe it's correct. It just struck me as funny. And so that's the end of my diatribe.
and Danny, I think kind of talking about the first thing you talked about, a certified arborist, I was just noticing the wording. If you look at 8.3.3, preservation during construction, and go down to 5. I like the wording where it's talking about tree protection plan, but it says developed by a certified arborist, must be submitted and approved by the town arborist. Right? Kind of like that wording, so. Maybe the same type situation.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we could have said town arborist in the first place rather than a certified arborist.
Yeah, and what brought that to mind for me was that we went through that with, because we thought at one point that if a certified arborist said something that we needed to accept it, and we learned later that we do not have to.
right?
except what that certified arborist says
I
that we can
remember
ask for
that
further
case
study.
distinctly.
Mhm.
Anything else, David?
That's it for me.
Oh, David?
I'm good.
I just had a couple of definitional type questions on 8.3. I guess surely it's 8.3.1 in the section describing the notes underneath tree size, individual tree removal, post occupancy, no construction activity. Way down the bottom of the notes, it makes reference to two separate situations that require 10 acres, 10 trees per acre, or 20. I wanted to be sure in my mind what that actually, what the distinction was.
So that's where it's determined suburban, which we didn't previously define, but was the conventional zoning districts like GR2, GR5, neighborhood business, general business. There's the mixed use districts are the ones that only require the 60 inches per acre because they're the ones that allow for greater lot coverage. So like what you'd see in downtown where you could technically kind of cover the whole lot, that those require only the 60 inches per acre, just because the type of development that's supposed to, that we're encouraging in that area is a little more dense. So that's the difference between those.
Dense in terms of housing or dense,
Housing, commercial in general, just a little more.
so the industrial category is for 20.
Industrial is technically in the 20 trees per acre, yeah. Because usually on industrial site, you have actually a lot of land.
Yeah, what?
A lot of land generally on industrial sites. So you'll have a lot of buffer area where you could likely easily meet that requirement.
Okay. In section 2 of 8.3.1, I guess, construction activity, site development. I just wanted to be sure, going down to the last category before the notes, interior of lot, urban, it says urban. I'm presuming that's,
Right, that's kind of what I just described. Yeah, we're taking out the word urban because it it's not clear exactly which areas we're talking about necessarily. And so defining it as the mixed use districts detailed in section 2.4.
okay, that's the GR 2, 3, 5 and mixed
Yeah.
use.
So yeah, mixed use is what's urban, and the suburban slash and industrial is the conventional districts.
And that basically refers to the footprint.
Generally, it's
Right.
the footprint allowed, yeah. So
Okay. Oh,
yeah, and we didn't really change necessarily any of the requirements per se on here. Just with Danny's help, we kind of helped clarify them so that it would be clearer to people who don't do this every day type of thing.
Right.
So there is some repetition in it now, but I think the repetition is
No,
good
that's-
to
that's
help
good.
clarify. And then the one thing we did add is, and this is something that's come up with y'all before, is note number 5, where we don't require mitigation if they're dead or, have issues. Now, we still won't require it. However, no lot shall be allowed to go below the required minimum tree per acre ratio, so that you don't just allow, just because someone has not great trees on their lot, you're not just allowing them to clear cut their lot. They still have to plant back to at least meet the minimum ratio.
The
So
ratio being, you use
depending
that
on
word.
whether it's a conventional district or a mixed use district, the ratio would either be the 20 tree per
Okay.
acre or the 10.
Or 10, okay.
Jesse, so if they can't plant back because of the confinement of the lot or something like that, can they then put money into the tree bank? Okay.
Yes, with the changes we're making, yes, they should
Okay.
now be able to do that. Yes.
Alright.
So in 8.3, to 8.3.1 in the section, the last section, tree size, construction activity, site development, same one. No, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. 8.3.3, preservation and during construction.
Mhm.
There's a reference on item number okay. D, required preservation areas. I just got curious about why it excludes invasive exotics, noxious weeds, or sweet gums. I was just wondering about the rationale for that. I
Um,
remember Walter Bailey sticking something in about sweet gums, and I don't know whether this was it.
I mean, we can take sweet gums out. I think that, yeah, I think that was something that council added in
Mhm.
after the fact. So I mean, if you want me to delete or sweet gums, I can certainly delete that.
Anybody have,
Well, I would love it if you do, but perhaps there's a rationale that you have or that staff has for leaving them in.
No, I just missed that it said that.
I would like to leave them personally.
I think so too.
Okay.
We're trying to protect them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So cross out or sweet gums.
Please.
please?
Got it.
I remember that distinctly. I just had to bring that.
Yeah,
up.
I'm pretty sure that was a previous change by council that
Yes,
added that in.
that's it for me.
I think most of them might have been answered, but let's see, 8.3.3 preservation during construction. C down at the bottom of the page,
Mhm.
replacement of preserved trees. Should any tree designated for preservation in the landscape die, the owner shall replace it within 180 days of confirmed death. Should the replacement tree also have a guarantee of 1 year on it, perhaps?
I mean, I think that may be covered in the general standards. I think we talk about that. Any trees planted or should somewhere we have that.
Okay, it probably is. I just don't recall seeing it, but,
I'll look and check, but I'll make a note.
okay. And I think that's everything I've got.
Lauren?
And that 20 trees per acre, that would mean like a quarter acre lot, minimum of 5 trees, is that
Correct.
correct?
Mhm.
I do have one question, just for clarification. On the construction activity / site development too, and I'm sure it probably goes to some of the others, but must replant trees with a combined DBH equal to 100%. So again, if they can't replant those trees or replace with trees, they can also put into the tree bank.
Correct,
Okay.
correct, yes.
Okay,
I have a question, and maybe I've missed it, maybe it's in here and I didn't see it, but under severe pruning, trimming prohibited, there's nowhere that I saw that it said 20%. And I'd really like for that to be in there, that 20% is a limit of just
I saw that. Where was that?
normal pruning.
we already saw it before. I forget it.
Yeah, I saw it. I can't remember where it was.
And that, like this man that,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it should be within the ANSI A300 and the BMPs would cover that. The 20%, because it would be, that's a part of the standards and the BMPs, and that you shouldn't prune more than 20% generally. But I hate to just put 20% in there, because then what if those standards change, or what if, that changes, and sometimes it varies per tree type of how much should be pruned. And so that's why I think referencing the standards that they should use and adding that best management practices should hopefully cover
okay,
that.
this gentleman that we just spoke to about his tree, that had been overly pruned. That's one of the reasons I wish I could have said something before whoever got there to prune them.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether the town arborist or those that are having business to go out and cut trees, are they going to have a copy of the ordinance? Then you,
So that's what we added,
Yeah,
in, 8.3.1, says that, any person who is being paid a fee for the business of planting, cutting, trimming, pruning, removing, or otherwise modifying trees within the town limits of Somerville must first sign an affidavit stating that he or she has received and read the Town of Somerville Tree Preservation Ordinance and ANSI A300 Standards, current edition. Such affidavit shall be completed and submitted when making an application for a tree removal permit and or when renewing a Town of Somerville business license. So yes, they will have to have read the ordinance.
That's a great addition, by the way.
Hmm.
I may have stolen that from somebody else, but thank you.
Well, that's a great steal.
Great.
okay.
Did you have something, David?
Me? Good. I'm good.
All right, any other thoughts, last minute thoughts?
Well, thank y'all very much.
Yep.
For your input on this. It was very helpful and, this will go to Planning Commission at their October meeting. And then it'll go to council and obviously, I obviously can't guarantee that all these changes will get approved, but, we will do our best to,
That would
Stick with-
likely occur.
stick with what's drafted. I will let y'all know when those meetings are, because I think it would be helpful if y'all can attend and speak in support of the changes and why they're needed. So since y'all are the ones who see
Good.
the tree removal requests.
The committee meetings.
So planning commission meeting will be in October. I'll send an email out with that date and time. And then it'll go to the planning and development committee of council and then put council and I'll send those days out. I'll send an email with all the dates, but then I'll send reminders before you.
Okay, right. Good. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Wow.
Are there any other thoughts or concerns for this meeting context?
Yes, sir.
If not,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.